We are driving this morning to a nice park in the neighborhood to do the short vlog. Look at the beauty of this. Welcome to Kaivalya Yoga Gurukulam KYG. This morning we are at a local metro park, hundreds of acres of pristine nature. Cold has begun finally after a relatively very warm weather. So you see us in our hoodies this morning, and fall, I guess, is officially started. Leaves will slowly begin to turn beautiful colors that happen hopefully in a week or two. So looking forward to that. So this morning my thoughts are still on the Bija mantras that we chanted the 10 days, and we are continuing to do that until the full moon, at the same time every evening at a personal level. So we just want to finish that off, but nevertheless, a couple of questions that came to me as regards that was, one of them which I want to address today is, how do we get bhava while chanting the Bija mantras? How do we get bhava? So the person said, I get bhava. What is bhava? So bhava is popularly or loosely translated as emotion, feelings. So when I sing a bhajan, for example, I'm giving an example of bhava. So in a kirtan like Daya Karo Shiva Ganga Dhari, Daya Karo Shiva He Tripurari, Daya Karo Shiva Ganga Dhari. Very beautiful, right? The tune, the melody, the words Daya Karo means shower grace. So it is very easy to get the bhava or the feeling, and we lose ourselves. That's a beauty of its own. But when you say Aim, Hreem, Shreem, Kleem, so there is a very powerful, a very beautiful mantra for all the chakras. Om, Shreem, Hreem, Kleem, Aim, Eem, Nam, Lam, Sauh, Sharavana Bhava. So these kind of mantras, the question is, how do we get bhava? How do we get emotions? And if we don't get the bhava, does it render the mantra ineffective? So let's hold on to that thought. I'll go to another place and continue this vlog. So how does one get bhava when you're chanting Bijakshara mantras? I think it is a very great question. However, the way to approach this is to first examine our definition or understanding of bhava. Bhava, if we reduce it or limit it to just saying I need to have feelings when I'm chanting, I need to connect it through feelings, then our limitation of our definition of bhava restricts our thinking. Bhava is not necessarily limited to an understanding of only emotions and feelings. Focus is bhava. Concentration is bhava. Listening mindfully is bhava. It doesn't necessarily have to have that so-called feeling. So that bhava of feeling, one part of bhava, comes when we sing a kirtan or a bhajan, right? But then when we are into the sound energy, where we are talking of sounds that entrain our brain, then we are talking of the bhava of focus, bhava of mindful listening. So when we are chanting these mantras, Bija mantras, like Aim, Hreem, Shreem, which are just sounds, then our approach, our bhava, is expressed as when we focus completely on the sound, focus on the pronunciation, focus on the sound that's emanating, the tone of the voice, the volume, how's the sound coming. And that mindful chanting is the bhava that enhances the power of this mantra. So when we chant Bijakshara mantras, mindfully listening to the sound, because where is the deity? Where is this God principle? It is in the sound. That deity is inherent in the sound. So our mindful chanting, our mindful listening to the sound, being enveloped rather in the sound, allowing the sound to surround us, because I am chanting, I am listening, so I am in the sound is in me. When we have that feeling, that can only come with focused, mindful chanting, then you are in the presence of that deity. That is what I meant when I said we are in the presence of Devi. Let us be there. So there is no room for, oh, I need to have this feeling, I need to have the heart. Why? Because there is no I in that. There is no I. In that there is just the sound. And from that sound, the deity gets activated. It's a very important concept to understand. A very, very powerful means. It's like a shortcut actually, that the yogis and the rishis thousands of years ago gave us. They formulated these sounds and gave it to us as bija mantras. Extremely powerful. But that powerful will only happen when we do it mindfully. For bija mantras, like I've said it earlier as well, you do not even have to know the meaning. You do not have to even think about the meaning at that moment. The meaning is a theoretical understanding, a conceptual understanding to develop a kind of a philosophical base at a later stage or before chanting. Okay, what does Shreem mean? Shreem is abundance, Shreem is prosperity, all of this that we see, this nature around, all here, this is all Shreem, 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 everywhere, right? Birds chirping, preparing for the winter, oncoming winter, all of this is Shreem. But when I'm chanting, I don't have to think. I just have to focus. How is it set? What does it sound like? What is the volume of my voice? Can I tone in such a way that, I love this pitch, I love this chant, I love it here, and I want to be in that zone. And then go into Shreem, 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 Shreem. I pay attention to Sh, R, and E, and how the ends. When we do that, then we begin to listen as we go on into this practice. We begin to listen to those sounds in nature, and that Shreem begins to get activated. A siren from an ambulance could perhaps remind us of one of the Bijakshara mantras, Eem, for example. So like this, the buzzing sound of a bee can remind you of an Om. So suddenly you will find that in nature, a lot of these Bijakshara mantras are actually alive and active, and you will be able to tune into them. That is when it is said the mantra is slowly becoming activated. The deity in that mantra is fed, nurtured, maintained by our ability to mindfully continue that chant. So the sound is very important. So many weeks, many months, many years, you practice verbally chanting, so the sound gets slowly entrained. And then you will automatically be led into a mental silent chanting, as it is called, and then mental chanting. We'll explore this more as we understand the effects of sound and Akasha principle and so on in the Kaivalya Marga classes. But for today's vlog, I think this is good enough for you all to think, food for thought, how Bijakshara mantras, you can maintain the bhava, but the bhava in bija mantras is the bhava of focus, of attention, of dharana. Dharana is a word, a Sanskrit word for focus or concentration. That is the bhava. When I'm singing a bhajan, the bhava is opening the heart, connecting completely. That's a different bhava. So bhava itself is very wide in understanding, and there are many applications of bhava in different situations. Hope that made it clear, and hope you find this useful. Thank you for watching. As always, stay blessed, stay inspired. Namaste.